So, welcome back to my channel, my little green birds. So today it is very special. I am collabing for the very first time with one of my favorite micro influencers, Vellus Terminal. Say hello.
How's it going, everybody?
I am so excited to have him on here. This is something that I kind of never thought that he and I would ever probably do, just like let alone. And we are just trying something a little different. We don't know how this is going to go, just being real with you guys. And yeah, if you guys are totally interested in seeing what we have to talk about, then stay tuned.
Explain something.
Okay, so welcome back, everyone. So tell me a little about yourself, Santino. His name is Santino, everyone.
My name is Santino. So yeah, I got into beard care and grooming a while ago just as a hobby. I like to write. I semi-professionally write, and so I just got the idea to put two and two together a while ago and start a blog, just kind of a little bit more old school review format, and that's kind of how I got into all of this.
Yeah, that's actually something that really caught my attention about your Instagram, because I was like, wow, he seems like he's talking more in an old school format in terms of a blog. And that's what led me to his website. It's called vellusterminal.com. Am I correct, or is it .org? Because I usually
.com. Yeah.
Inside of your bio. And yeah, so that's how I just started discovering some of these brands that I have never even heard of. I think it's really awesome because that was one of the main biggest reasons why I started following you, was because I was like, oh, he's not actually doing like what I'm doing. He's actually thoroughly writing everything out. And it was just really awesome. As I don't know if it's because, like, you know, we're millennials and we're like adapting to everything that's very current and present on how to do everything, but it was just a really interesting little throwback. It was a throwback for me.
No, definitely. And that's, you know, sometimes it's just kind of fun to actually sit and read something versus, I mean, I spend hours a day on YouTube. I've got all my favorite reviewers for all sorts of things, not just beard care. But, you know, sometimes it is cool to just sit and actually read something that somebody's written out. It's a different experience.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you know what? Something I just thought of. What was the first product you reviewed for your blog?
First product I reviewed for my blog was a beard oil called Holy Grail by a company called Kingsman. I'm actually completely out of it. It's one of their more popular scents. It's an oud-based scent, really high quality oil. Kingsman is one of those brands that kind of, if you know about them, you know about them. Like, they have a following, but you know, if you're just kind of getting into beard care, things like that, it might not be one of the first brands you hear about.
So to all of our viewers who are brand new, okay, what is an ode or an oud?
So an oud is it's a resinous agar wood. They distill it down or something somehow. I wish I had a more scientific answer for you there.
Oh, no,
but basically, it smells amazing. So it's a scent that's been used in perfume and you know, fragrances for centuries. It's native to, I believe, Southeast Asia. I could be wrong about that. But it in its pure form, it's super expensive, smells amazing. There's a couple of really great oud-based colognes I can recommend too. But it doesn't smell like anything else out there. It's kind of hard to describe. It just is its own thing. Really. It's resinous, it's incensey, it's smoky. It's just one of the best scents in the world. One of my absolute favorites.
I actually had no idea, to be really quite honest with you. I always wondered what's an oud or what's an ode. And that, you just explaining that, I just learned something brand new. And now, what products are you using today just for this interview so far?
For this interview, I'm actually using I'm using an oud-based product. This is the Authentic Oud Oil by Sphinx. That's another one of those kind of under the radar companies that really I'm not quite sure why they're not bigger than they are, because everything they make smells amazing. And this is actually one of the best oud-based beard oils out there.
I noticed that you were posting that a lot more in your Instagram stories, and I was like, oh my god, I have to totally try this at some point. I did notice that they are definitely on the more upscale side for an oil.
They are. They're a little pricey when it comes to beard oils. They're, you know, if I'm being honest, excuse me, you know, you can get oils. I mean, you can get oils starting at like $5. But you know, this is going to be kind of on the higher end of the spectrum. This bottle was $25, which it's not crazy, it's not insane, but you know, it is a little bit more than your average. You know, a good quality beard oil should run you about $15 or so.
That makes total sense. I have spent quite a lot of money on beard oils and all. What really stood out to me about you said it was called the Sphinx brand. That brand in general, when I was looking at their website, because I actually saw it on your blog first, I was checking them out and I was like, wow, they are, the way how they advertise is very appealing. It is very, very bold and very different. It's very Egyptian, of course, because if we all think of a sphinx, everyone, if you guys have never heard of a sphinx, just go back to the BC era pretty much. So yeah, I really loved the way how they were marketing everything. I actually was trying to search to see if they had a pre-shave oil and shaving cream, because those are the two things that I typically have reviewed in the past, how I started my YouTube channel.
They don't do a pre-shave oil, unfortunately. I mean, you can always use the beard oil as pre-shave oil, and I mean, it's definitely thick enough it would work. It's, you know, not quite the same thing, but there's a lot of overlap with ingredients. Now, they do make a great shave soap that, you know,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it requires a little work, of course, being shave soap. It's kind of when you've just got the morning free and you're not planning on doing anything, you want to treat yourself, you know, it's a really great product, but yeah, it definitely lacks the convenience of your traditional shaving creams.
So, you know, I actually have a shave soap that I haven't even used yet. I haven't reviewed the brand at all. I bought a bunch of Detroit Grooming Co. I bought a huge haul. If you guys refer to my video from about a month ago, and I called it IG Reps, because IG influencers, because like the people who make the product themselves and who are on the Instagram and everything, they are influencers as well. So I bought a bunch of their stuff. I just haven't gotten around to reviewing it yet. So what is your take on shave soaps?
You know, I like them myself. The thing is, obviously, I don't shave a whole lot of my face. I just kind of do a little line here and then get the back of the neck as well. Shave soaps are great, but I don't use them very often. You know, again, it's when I really have the time to sit and focus. For the most part, you know, I've followed your recommendation with the Baxter. That stuff is awesome. That clear gel. It's just kind of like, I've been using a lower quality brand that I'm not going to mention here. It's just because it was, you know, very clear, which was awesome. But that Baxter, it's like that times 1,000. It's just, you know, they've taken that concept of keeping that really clear gel just for doing, you know, line work and everything, and you know, just made it a much more luxurious experience. You know, my skin feels great after using that.
When it comes down to the shave soap, would you say that it lacks a specific amount of consistency and slick versus the clear shave gel? Because I wanted to know a little more on your take on the Baxter of California clear lineup gel, beard lineup gel?
You know, the beard lineup gel from Baxter, that it does have a great amount of slick. Now I use a straight razor myself, so you know I generally try and do. I spoke to a barber about this a long time ago, and I'm by no means an expert on it. But what he told me is, you do one pass with the grain and then one against. And I find that the Baxter, I don't need to reapply in between. It still kind of hangs around. It just gives you just enough protection that you can kind of do 2 passes like that, get a nice clean lineup.
Did you use pre-shave oil before applying that, or no? Because I have done it both ways.
You know, I do. I don't know that it, you know, necessarily makes that much of a difference, but it's just more a force of habit thing than anything else. I would imagine that you could use it without pre-shave oil and be just fine as well.
Just to let you know, I felt like that the shave was, of course, way smoother with the pre-shave oil on versus not using a pre-shave oil. But I will say, like, when I first did my review on it, because I never used a clear gel before, I just put it all over my entire face. I did not do sections like they recommended. Now, do you do sections when it comes down to clear gels?
I do, and you know, again, I'm not doing nearly as much of my face as most guys do. So you know, I'll just do a little bit here, take care of that real quick, switch over to the other side, same thing, and then get my neck last, that sort of thing.
I was wondering, what are your top 5 must-haves in terms of getting ready in the morning?
You know, let's just say a typical day where I'm planning on, you know, going outside, seeing people, and I want to be, you know, looking my best, not necessarily going to go crazy here because there are specialized tools that we can get into later. But the things that you're going to want to have for sure, you definitely, as ridiculous as it sounds, you want to invest in a good quality comb. This is a Kent comb. These are made in England. It's cut from a piece of acetate, so, you know, it's fairly bendable and, you know, durable, whatever. And these aren't, you're not going to break the bank with these. I think this one was like $12, something like that. Just in case somebody's looking for a more budget option, you can find hand-cut wooden combs as well, and those are about $5 or $6. But you do want to use a hand-cut comb on your beard. That's super important. Probably your most essential item in your beard care arsenal is a good quality comb. And then for me, since my beard's a little thick and curly, I also recommend a good boar's hair brush. Again, this is something that, oh, there you go. Yeah. This is something that you can go crazy with. Kent actually makes one that is actually horsehair, I believe, not boar. But that thing's like, I want to say like $70, $80, which, hey, more power to you if you want to do that. It's not necessary, though. You can pick one of these up for, you know, 15, 20 bucks. So you've got your beard combed, you're stepped out of the shower, whatever. Usually what I'll do is I'll hit it with a little heat from the blow dryer. That's ideal. It's a little bit more gentle. I know you've seen the straightening brushes, which I have one of those too. And
I was so shocked seeing stuff like that. I was like, why don't we just use a regular hair straightener? But I don't know if it's just the way the color, the aesthetic of the hair straightener makes it more appealing. I was just shocked seeing that. I was like, what the hell is this?
I'm not quite sure what the, you know, what the thinking is there versus a regular straightener, but this is kind of just a thing that's been developed for beards. And, you know, again, I actually don't have mine out here, otherwise I'd show you. I got one, you know, just kind of a middle of the road one you can get for like $40 off of, you know, Amazon, eBay, whatever. You know, with that, of course, that's when you would apply your beard oil. You do that before you apply any heat, just because generally, I believe this one does, but generally they have argon in them, which is going to be a bit of a heat shield, keeps your beard a little bit healthier. The heat is just kind of bad all around for your beard, so you don't want to go crazy with it. But you know, usually I'll just hit it with like I said, the blow dryer for a minute or two. Generally, I'll just leave it alone with just the oil, and that's fine 99% of the time. If my beard is just really being an asshole, doesn't want to behave, that's when you want to go with beard balm.
What brand is that?
Now this is a brand called Voodoo Menscraft, and I literally just picked it up because
Oh,
it's got the Oakland
Oakland.
logo on it. So yeah.
The one from Oakland. God, I was trying to remember. There was a brand that was local to me that I haven't bought yet. Voodoo. Yes. Okay.
Yes, yeah, and I definitely recommend checking them out. They do a good job. And they changed the packaging though. Kind of bummed me out. They don't have the tree anymore. They've got the Golden Gate Bridge, which that's not Oakland. They could have put the Bay Bridge, but whatever. That's just me being picky. It's still a very good product either way. So you just want to do a little bit of this. If say you're getting the flyaways, your beard's just looking a little bit more raggedy than usual. It's not something that's really necessary every day, but again, it's just one of those things that you want to kind of have in your arsenal. Now, in addition to that, if you're really going crazy, and I've actually trimmed my mustache recently, but you do want to invest in a good quality mustache wax, and this one, I don't know if you can see it. It's it's by this company called, they don't have their name on they do, but it's tiny. It's by this company called The Bearded Bastard. They're out of Austin.
A lot of people have been like totally talking about it in the beard care community, or the bearded community. I've heard people say bearded community, beard care community. I brought it up to some of my friends, and they're like, "What the is that?" They're like, what? A beard care community on YouTube, and I was like, believe it or not, it really exists. There's you got for everything.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so this is definitely another product that you'll want to invest in. Not too expensive at all. This is one of the higher end ones, and I want to say this is like $16. Now we're moving into the nighttime routine. Generally, every night before bed, I'll do one of two things. More often than not, I'll just do a beard butter. And this is by a company called Barn Brand. It's run by this really cool guy out in Alabama, of all places.
I know, right?
But I mean, really high quality handmade stuff. I've talked to him a couple of times. He takes like a super amount of pride in like where he's sourcing his raw materials from. He's ordering stuff from all over the world to go into these products. So this is another one of those kind of under the radar brands that people need to check out. Super affordable stuff too. It got this giant thing for like $16. But a beard butter,
ounces, right?
Yeah, 4 ounces. Yeah,
just by looking at it.
It's not really something you use for hold. It's I find it just it does a better job of deep conditioning. That's why I kind of throw some in at night before bed. Couple times a month, maybe once every 2 weeks, I'll do this where I'll do the beard leave-in. This is not an essential thing to have, but if you're just looking to kind of
that's what I mean.
Next level with it.
I used it today myself.
Oh, nice. Oh, nice. Yeah. Oh, did you get your got your thing? Oh, nice.
I got my prize and everything. Cheers.
Cheers. But yeah, I'll do this. Just leave this in overnight, and then you rinse it out in the morning. And oh my God, I don't think there's a product that leaves my beard feeling softer than this stuff here. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, just to let you guys know, that was by Scotch Porter, and that is actually their limited edition CBD collection. It only comes around once a year, and I think like 420 as well. And it has 25 milligrams of non-psychotropic CBD, so there's no hallucinogenic or anything. So yes, Santino, with that being said, I think this was an awesome first meeting, because this is actually the first time we're meeting everyone, just to let you guys know. We did a test run almost a week ago just to make sure that the channels are correct, just to get a feel and all that lovely jazz. And I think that this first time actual real meeting was successful. Now, Santino, did you have anything to say to our viewers who are watching? Did you want to add any final thoughts or anything like that?
I mean, You know, honestly, just words of encouragement for you know, anybody who's been thinking about growing a beard, been kind of intimidated by the process or whatever. There's really nothing to it. Some people take it, you know, you can take it as seriously as you want it. Some people take it very seriously. Some people are very casual about it. It's a very basic amount of maintenance, not a whole lot of work you have to put in to grow a really nice beard. So if you've been thinking about it, just do it.
Awesome. Thank you so much once again for being my first digital collaboration ever. I think that's literally awesome. So if you guys loved this video, definitely give this video a thumbs up. I will leave all of the information down below in the description box on the products that we have featured, used, and also links to the actual websites so you can buy, and also Instagram handles as well. That being said, thank you so much once again, everyone, and we will see you guys on the next one. Bye.